Yes. Okay. Awesome. Jeez, I'm so sorry, guys. Such an idiot. Okay, well, what I said in those first 20 minutes was essentially like, hey, Manny, great series. It's great that he's hot. For all those people that he was washed and he's cooked and all that, like, I always believed in him. That was an absolute tank that he hit today. I thought maybe that Steven Kolek, maybe we should have a little bit higher expectations now because of how well he's been pitching. Um, it's been at least 15 consecutive scoreless innings now, going back to that Marlins outing where that first inning gives up 6 runs, which, by the way, all wasn't his fault. Like, some of that was just BABIP luck, good luck on the Marlins side. But like since then, really good. So I think my expectations have risen from 5 innings, few runs, or work into the fifth. For me, it's work into the sixth and give up 2 or less runs. Ryan Bergert pitching well. Yeah, sorry about that, JD's third. My goodness. I appreciate you continuing to send the super chats. You know what? I actually do owe you. How much did you send me? Because I'm going to go to the super chats. Yeah, send me JD's third. If you're on social media, DM me like your Venmo or something, and I will literally send you this money back because thank you for doing that. I should have looked earlier, but yeah, pretty much like Manny, great. Tatis, I think it's great that this Dodger series is coming up because I feel like the Dodgers is this team that gets him going. If it was at Dodger Stadium, that would be even better. But Padres Dodgers going to be a packed ballpark every day, even the day game. Like my family sold our tickets on Wednesday because we can't make it. Sold them for I think over $100 in the upper deck, and that was just because that's what the price was going for. Like it's pretty ridiculous. So those that are going and those that pay tickets for that, I mean, good on you, I guess. But I'll just be enjoying it watching Don and Mud on TV because that's a lot of money for regular season games sitting in the upper deck. But it's going to be really fun, packed. And, Manny obviously getting going now is huge. Jackson Merrill, I think a little bit like Tatis, can thrive off of it being Padres-Dodgers. So, yeah, it's going to be fun. Ohtani, I did see today, he got hit in the ankle. So he stayed in the game. So I would assume, Padres-Dodgers, and with the doctors and trainers they have and, how quick they can, get stuff ready. Like, yeah, Ohtani's going to be in there tomorrow. But that is something that I wanted to at least throw out there. I think Hai-Sung Kim is playing center for them. I saw Kike a little bit was out there. Mookie's at short. So it's an interesting alignment, too. I'm not going to act like I know everything about him because I literally watched some of the game today, and that was pretty much that. But, yeah, this Padres series against the Brewers, like I know there wasn't a ton of offense from the Padres side, but the pitching was what I wanted to really shout out. This bullpen, Jason Adam, Robert Swart. I think Jason Adam is bouncing back. Looked pretty darn nasty today. Got out of that. I think there was multiple runners on base there in that 8th inning. Let me double check that. Suarez, by the way, just not hitting his spot, sorry, because he didn't hit every spot. But the spots that, where he was throwing these pitches, they were dotting the strike zone. So very effective. Yes, there were multiple runners on Jason Adam when he struck out Montesterio to end that inning. Frelick stole second base, so there were runners on first and second. No, second and third, I think. Anyway, Jason Adam is also someone kind of like Manny, where Manny, there's been some bad moments this year. Some fans have gotten on him. Definitely some fans have gotten on Jason Adam for recent play. But these two guys are super talented players. I always believed in these guys. And I know it's a long season, so we could go through more ups and downs, and we will probably with Manny. But this is a future Hall of Famer that we're talking about. On the Roku broadcast, there was that graphic where he's up there with Adrian Beltre and Chipper Jones, and I'm forgetting the other guy that was on that graphic, but it was to get to 350 home runs, and I forget the exact other numbers, but when you're in that group, that's pretty darn impressive. So hopefully Padres fans can continue to appreciate him. Made a couple of good plays in the field. Yeah, Ryan Berger, him and Steven Kolek, like they have impressed me so far. And it's been huge that they have stepped up because right now the Padres aren't going to be making acquisitions. They're not going to go trade for Darvish. They're not going to go trade for Darvish. They're not going to go trade for someone to replace Darvish. They're not going to trade for someone to replace Michael King. They're going to wait. A couple of reasons. One, some teams don't know if they're going to go buy at the deadline or not, so they want to wait. And then others, the other reason, with Darvish, with Michael King, you want to wait as long as you can to see how healthy are they going to be, because then that can change the amount of quality guys that you go get before the deadline. So, these guys stepping up, this game counts the same as a game in September. It does. It's one game. So that they're able to help the Padres win game and not just keep them in the game, right? Because that's what you want from back end guys, especially like spot starters. Keep them in the game, and yeah, we'll be good. But no, with these guys, they haven't just kept them in the game. There are huge reasons why they've won these games. Like game one of this series, Randy Vasquez, I didn't mention him yet, but 4 2/3, no runs. Huge reason why the Padres win that game. They won 2-0. Today, with Kolek was yesterday. Kolek did his job, by the way. 5 2/3, no runs, good for him. But with Berger, 5 1/3, no runs today. Sure, you want less walks, but Padres win it 1-0. Huge reason why they won. It's not like the Padres went and won 5-3 and they won it late. No, they didn't score. So until late, obviously, with the Manny bomb, that ball was demolished. So yeah, just they've been so crucial. And I don't know, is this going to be a Matt Waldron thing where they go 10, 11 starts like this? Like Kolek, for example, can he go 10 starts and do this? And maybe he tails off after that. Maybe it's not the same, but these games count the same. If the Padres can win a majority of those games and then they make the playoffs, or they get to host a playoff series, a wild card series, because they won the wild card by a couple of games, we could look back at Steven Kolek as being a big reason why. Same thing with Ryan Berger. Same thing with guys in this bullpen. We want to go with smaller players. I know everyone has a role, but you get what I say when I'm saying role players, like Jose Iglesias, the impact that he's had. Like that could be the difference in the Padres, not just making the playoffs or missing the playoffs, but certain seeding, certain matchups that could favor the Padres over another one. So taking this series over the Brewers, love it. It's a winning road trip. I know that there was a lot of drama and there was a lot of close games. You don't want them to be that close. I get it. That's still that Giants game where you had a 5-0 lead and you lost. That still gets to me, but that's going to happen. It probably happens to every team in baseball this year at some point, that they're going to blow a big lead and their fans aren't going to be happy about it. But if they continue to have winning road trips, they continue to win series, a 4-game series at the Giants and you split, sure, you're mad because of the first 2, but just like overall, you split the series, I don't think it's the end of the world. And we'll see what happens in this Dodgers series. Like this is going to be a big measuring stick to see the Padres with not everyone available, obviously, and the Dodgers don't too, to be fair. But the Padres with Pivetta going, game 1, I think definitely is going to be a test because that's someone that you could face. That's someone that you could throw out there to face the Dodgers in the postseason. You don't want to be – you're probably not throwing Steven Kolek or Ryan Berger out there, Randy Vasquez even. But like Pivetta is going to be a big measuring stick game. And no doubt the fans are going to show up big. I'm sure there's going to be a bunch of Dodger fans too because, for Padres fans, this is the time that you can get, 3 games worth of tickets. Sell the ticket for 1 game and you still get to go, watch it on your couch, watch it, or you can go downtown or whatever, and you can listen to Don and Mud. Like it's not the end of the world. And I'm sure there are some fans that are like, well, also like I'm trying to be safe too. And, being at a Padre Dodger game, is that the safest thing? Especially like considering like where are you seated, So I don't blame Padres fans for doing it. I understand it, especially if you can sell the ticket for 3 times what you normally would sell it for. Like, yeah, I'm not going to get at you for that. All right. I was already on a time crunch before I, spoke for almost 20 minutes or 15, 20 minutes and realized that no one could hear me. So apologies for that. I was on the same setting that I always am when I don't have a mic and I'm just using my earbuds. So don't know what happened there, but sorry about that. Usually why I'm not looking at the chat to start the show is because I don't have to worry about my audio not working because I know it works because it always has. But it was on a different setting for some reason. I didn't switch it, so that's weird. But usually I'm looking at the different box scores and going over different details, so I'm not on a tab to see the chat. So lesson learned. Most shows now I will be looking at the chat just to be like, hey, beginning of the show, everyone, just comment yes if you can hear me, so that we don't have to have that problem. But let me see here. I hope John and Jim don't diss Ben for this. No, they can diss me all they want. Like, I can take it. I know they're joking around. I joke around with them all the time. Like Jim, he ripped Manny for like how he was playing earlier in the season, and it was probably fair because he said like Manny is, I forget the exact tweet. Let me actually look it up. John, I think, recently tweeted it. So yeah, May 23rd, Jim tweeted Manny is going through it right now. And actually, let me look up the splits because Jim's probably accurate, but it's just funny to rip him because whenever he rips players, usually they end up performing well after it. So it's almost like, hey, yeah, go rip Nando, go rip whoever, Xander, But yeah, I'm going to look at his numbers from the start of the season through, what I say, May 23rd. That's weird. He was hitting 309 with an 835 OPS through May 23rd. So he must have been talking about the 7 game stretch because he went 0 for in 4 consecutive games, and then went 0 for 5 on May 22nd. And he must have tweeted that like what time did he tweet this at? Yeah, he must have tweeted that like when Manny was 0 for something during that game because he ended up getting 2 hits in that game. But yeah, Manny overall, like again, that's kind of like a reminder, hey, let's look at the big picture. I know that they have a 4-hour radio show, so they have to talk about, they have to find things to talk about. I get it. And they're talking about right now and how guys are playing right now. But if you zoom out, this Padres team's a good team. Manny Machado's a good player. He can hit. Little things like that. I think it's good to put it in perspective. Let's see. Jason, is Jason a Dodger fan? He says, best show ever, great takes, loud and clear. This is when I was having audio problems. I can take it. Like, yeah, I take jokes all the time. It's fine. Carlos says, not even Jim messes up this bad. And he says, Jim is an idiot. Yeah, today it's my bad. Totally my bad. No, I didn't pre-record. Obviously, I'm live. JD Sir says, no, Ben, you don't owe me. I was just happy you realized it. Yeah. This one's probably not going up on the podcast platform because people would open it up and be like, where did he go? I mean, for those that were here on YouTube live and you sat through that, like, thank you. But also, man, I was talking for like 15, maybe 18 minutes straight. I was totally good. And I had takes, and I'm just on limited time. So really today, especially after that, it's kind of just go through the chat, answer your questions, any comments. No, Dodger fans don't get a refund. JD's third says there was zero offense this series. Well, then why did they win the series then if there was zero offense? To me, like, yeah, we can complain about the offense, but what I would say is just appreciate, that Manny is getting hot, or is hot, I should say, not getting hot. And the Padres pitching, if they can do this, like, that's especially if the offense can get going when it matters the most later this season. The Padres are a World Series caliber team with this pitching. It's going to be a big test, though. What's going to happen coming up in this Dodger series and the next one as well that's at Dodger Stadium and in between with the D-backs. How are they going to do? How are they going to fare against those teams where you're probably going to have Adam and Suarez pitching a majority of these games? As they get seen more by these Dodgers hitters, what's going to happen? As these batters are seen more by the Dodgers coaching staff and, they adjust and attack, how are they going to do? Can Fernando and Jackson, can they step up and, come through? Can they rise to the moment? Can this series get them going and get them locked in? That is going to be so baseball, though. Like, they're going to go off against the Dodgers, but have been struggling against lesser teams. Rick says, I still can't believe the Padres took 2 out of 3 from the Brewers with their straight up non-run manufacturing offense. Well, again, that just goes to show how great the pitching was. And if that can happen, then this Padres team, no offense is going to want to go up against this Padres team. Yeah, Blake Snell's hurt. Shocker. If you want to get hurt, go to the Dodgers. Padres should have waited until they get closer to the end of the season to offer him that long contract. Merrill? No, I don't know about that. I mean, let's look at the contract. I mean, that's easy to say now when he's struggling for the first time in the big leagues. But no, it's $135 million. This isn't this isn't Tatis where you signed a $340 million contract. It's $135 million for a guy that's one of the leaders already on this team. And, top of the order guy, I think that's crazy I think that's an overreaction to be like, oh, they should have waited to offer him that long contract. No. 135, that's probably going to be nothing, 5 years down the road. And for a player like Jackson Merrill, for the talent that he is, no, that was a great contract. He gets money and he gets that commitment, and the Padres, I guarantee you, I can't totally guarantee you, but I'm very confident that the Padres are going to be saving a ton of money, millions and millions and tens of millions of dollars, maybe even hundreds, with this Merrill contract. Oh, we got a super chat in here towards the JD's third refund. Okay. Yep. I'll note that. JD's third's got to give me their Venmo, though. King, Darvish, Hoeing, Musgrove, and Moore are hurt, so let's not pretend the Dodgers are the only team with injuries. That's true. I did mention, no, I forget if this was when you could hear me or not, but I did mention that, yeah, the Dodgers, they're not healthy fully either. But still, it's going to be a test. We got Pavetta and Dustin May on Monday. Like, that's must watch. And then Tuesday, Cease for us. Don't know about them. Wednesday, Robleski. Never heard of this guy. And Randy Vasquez today. Or, excuse me, for us on Wednesday. Wednesday day game at 1:10. Dodgers enter 39-27. Padres are 37-27. So, like, for all the complaining, the Padres, they're right there. So, it's going to be fun. I got to go. Sorry for the audio problems. I'll be back talking about these Padre-Dodger games. Hopefully, after every one of these games, I should be able to. With work schedule haven't been available much for this Brewers series. I wanted to get on here and talk for like 40 minutes, but it ended up being like 20 minutes. But again, apologies. Sorry for that.